I'm waving through a window that I've seen 10 times before. Where's the show that offers more? 2, 3, 4. Give me a little new music. How about a little new music? Too much time with the news has got me feeling news sick. Let's try a little new music.
This is the first time I'm premiering Mansplaining, my song from Glass Ceilings. A Little New Music is such a wonderful place to premiere a new musical theater.
I think it's great to introduce, my stuff to a new audience and also be part of a community that both values new musical theater and also supports it.
I had a song and a concert, and it felt like a really safe audience that really was in tune with what I was trying to say.
I came from the Bronx to come sing here. I'm singing Dance Floor. It's a new song from the Broadway show Talk to Me.
The song I get to perform tonight is called The Only Straight Boy in the Room, which really spoke to me.
I am singing a new song, Carner and Gregor's song called Fractured Fairy Tale. It's really exciting because we get to put our spin on it, and you're really a part of that process too, of bringing a show to reality.
Best talent in town, the best writers around the globe. It's not a casual cabaret, it's a highly produced concert.
This is my first time seeing A Little New Music. It gives you a little taste of what's new and what's to come, and it just makes me excited because I want to see every single show now.
I really think people need to come and experience hearing songs that had not been performed before. There's something incredible about hearing it for the first time.
Ballads, up-tempos, jazzy tunes, old school Broadway type of songs. Sometimes like the next Sondheim shows up, and you get to be a part of that.
Let's try a little new music. Come on, guys. Let's try a little new music. A little new music, that's the name of the show.
Good evening and welcome to American Theater. I'm just kidding. Welcome everybody to A Little New Music Spotlight Series. My name is Keela. I'm one of the volunteer producers here, and I'm so happy to be with tonight. So A Little New Music has been bringing musical theater to live audiences since 2013, featuring over 150 writers and writing teams in that time. And tonight is our 9th virtual Spotlight Series, where we showcase writers one at a time.
Hi, Keela, and hello to all of you, and thank you for being with us tonight. My name is Luke. I'm also one of our producers, and honestly, we're just happy to be able to share tonight with you however we can as we keep bringing you incredible new music.
So we'll bring on tonight's featured guests in just a moment, but first we do want to ask for your support. Believe it or not, A Little New Music is an all-volunteer effort, and it relies on your support to compensate our writers and performers. So when you can, please give a little click or scan on our QR code. Where is that? Over there. Oh, there it is. Whenever you have a moment, it'd be great, and we really appreciate it.
Every dollar makes a big difference for us, which is also why we want to thank two organizations who continue to support us, the ASCAP Foundation and New Musicals Incorporated.
All right. So later in the show, we will take some of your questions for our writers. So be ready to type them into the chat, and you never know, your question may be asked live on the air.
So, hey, let's bring on our guest, right, Keela? Tonight we have the amazing writing duo of Tim Rosser and Charlie Sohne. Tim and Charlie are winners of the 2015 Jonathan Larson Award, ASCAP's 2015 Mary Rogers Lorenz Hart Award, and the 2018 Ed Kleben Award.
Incredible. And if that wasn't enough, their credits include Talk to Me, The Boy Who Danced on Air with the Right Music, and The World's Fair.
Let's welcome Tim and Charlie to the show.
Come on out on the stage, gentlemen.
Hey,
all right.
How are you?
Welcome. We're doing so well. So happy to see you here, Tim and Charlie. So your songs have appeared on A Little New Music stage 6 times. I think, is that a record, Luke?
I think it is. I think it is.
So
we're in it for the records.
Yeah.
Hey, and you know what?
Sorry.
Probably not the last time either. So now, what do you enjoy? what do you enjoy about writing music?
Should we introduce ourselves for people who might not know?
Oh, sorry.
I'm Tim, and this is Charlie.
Who does the music? Who does the lyrics?
And I write the music. Charlie writes the lyrics and the libretti.
Wow.
So we've decided this question's going to me because I technically write the music. And yeah, I'd have to say my favorite part about writing music is the ability of it to sort of lift a dramatic situation up in the air. I think it's sort of like a magic trick, actually. It's like you can read about a character on a page and you can even act out a scene, but the minute an intro starts and the person starts singing, it's like a whole universe opens, and that's probably my favorite part about it.
And Charlie, you want to say anything about lyrics?
They're hard. They're tough. I don't know. Do I like them? I like it when it's done. I like it when people like the songs. No, it's fun. I do like lyric writing because I think it's a lot more manageable than like scripts. It's like you have like 3 minutes or 2 minutes or 4 minutes of time where you have a very, very compact story that you need to tell. And that means every word is really important. And it also, I'm a very disorganized thinker sometimes. So having like a bite-sized task where I can be like, great, I did that. That's done. Time to move on to the next.
Charlie likes to say I'm finished, and he likes to send emails. So yeah, writing a song is a more manageable chunk than a full script for a 2-hour musical.
That's why I've told him I'm giving up with scripts. No more. Just
So as Keela mentioned, we have featured 6 of your new songs over the years, and we're going to watch highlights from a few of them. Can you tell us a little bit more about the songs we're about to watch?
Yes. So the first song you're going to see with the right music is an opening number. So thankfully, I don't need to say anything about that.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, if it doesn't make sense to you, that's our fault. Then there's I'm Clay, which is an old song and actually might be the very first song we did with a little new music way back when we were all younger.
And judging from the video quality, you may also see that.
Yeah, technology's gotten really good recently. And then the last one is a newer song called Dance Floor, and it's from a family show we're writing called Talk to Me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's watch it.
Amazing. Love it.
I know that the school could have more of an air to it, and so I listen to the beat that's playing inside my head. Those magic lyrics that no one said. I hear that simple melody, safe and warm, and then I transform with the right music. We're at a film premiere, so many stars, it's hard not to stare. With the right music, even the Pope is here. Camera's flash, it's a smash, and who styled her hair? No, it doesn't bother me, cause if they don't hear my song, I know that someone will soon. I know that I meant in my life to do something grand. I know that I'll find people out there who understand. I know the world will finally hear the music playing inside my head. Those magic lyrics that no one said. They'll hear that simple melody, safe and warm. The world will transform. The right music. No need to run away. One name for every occasion. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Clay. No more fear that I made some mistake. When I catch someone small, double take. No more worries. At each cold, skeptical glance. Many months ahead, maybe years instead, not a single threat. I can finally get my chance, a chance at my own life, a new home, not a reason to leave it. My street, the same each day, my life and a way to achieve it. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Clay.
I'm gonna kill it on the dance floor. I'm gonna bust a move like no one's ever seen. Now I finally found my place. It's the pump and bump days. Tonight I'm gonna shimmy and shake. I'm gonna hustle and dip. I'm gonna move again, try not to trip. And is the whole room spinning? I think it's just me. I'm gonna kill it, kill it, kill it tonight. Yeah, 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 yeah. Sure, Mary H is good at baseball, and Jason T spends weekends camping with the scouts. They get their badges and their trophies. And there are times when I feel sorta on the outs, but can Merit do it? Can Jason do it? No one else can do it. I'm still working on that. Woo! Na 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 na. I'm gonna kill it on the dance floor.
I think we can all judge from the audience reaction that that was a crowd pleaser. Thank you so much for that. And I also loved hearing the diversity of the lyrics and the melodies. You had like some very upbeat melodies and very haunting melodies from I'm Clay. It's just beautiful music. So thanks so much, gentlemen. So we have some questions, but I also want to remind our audience to type in questions into the live chat now. So guys, what kind of stories are you most interested in telling?
You know, I think we tend to be pretty wide with the stories that we tell. I think, you know, at any one moment, different things interest us. But like, I do think that like a consistent thing for us is that that song. Like, I think the reason that we love musical theater is that song can really bring you close to a character. And to use that to bring people close to characters who at first seem distant from them or seem unfamiliar has been a thing that is very exciting to us. I think particularly because, like, you know, I think right now the world is kind of lacking in empathy a little bit. So the more that we as writers can put that out there by introducing people to concepts that they hadn't thought about before, characters who they might not be familiar with, or you know, ideas that they themselves have been thinking about, but that our show might show in a new light or bring in a new way. So I think that is the heart for us, you know.
Awesome. What you guys have been writing together for a while, right? Like,
yeah, just a short, 12 years.
12 years. Okay. Where do you find you've had some time now to sort of figure this out? What works well for you in your collaborations?
I don't know that I want to let Tim answer this question. No, I mean, I think it's two things, and they sound kind of opposite, but they're like kind of related, which is like, one, we have a lot of overlap in terms of the kinds of stories that we want to tell and the kinds of ambiguities that excite us. And I think that perspective is also like balanced by the fact that we are also incredibly different people. And Tim is sort of there to, Tim has done a good job of like
shaking out a lot of the crazy.
I think we've done a fair amount of smoothing each other's crazy out, or amplifying some of it, I suppose. But
yeah. I guess amplifying it and deciding that those things aren't crazy, and then everything
you
else.
can tell us if we're being crazy or not. But yeah, I agree with that. I think we get along really well as people, and that is a big part of collaboration, is being able to communicate and also having incredibly different skill sets. I mean, that's was a huge challenge, I think, for songwriters, and a really big benefit is you're ideally looking for somebody who knows how to do something better than you do. And, you know, what's anybody's ability to judge when somebody's good at something you're not good at, you know? So it's a lot of trust building, and I can't imagine doing that with somebody that I don't actually get along with really well.
Yeah. I will also say it's great that we live in the same apartment. Like, I don't know if we would choose to work together if that weren't the case, but it's just like, it makes it easy.
We haven't always.
Oh, it's very convenient, you know, instead of the fax machine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because that's what we were using before, the fax machine, and it was too slow
and
for
it was
songwriting.
good, but not good enough.
Yeah.
Right, it was all like on a single roll of paper that was kind of
with little dots on the sides that
yeah. That's our first score is on that paper.
Well, you know, the great Stephen Sondheim always says, writing plays are hard, and that's why I prefer collaboration, and I love collaboration so much, and it just...
Yeah, I mean, I think there really is something to that. Like, I don't know, at least for me, like, I'm such a hyper social, hyper extrovert person that there's nothing more depressing to me than being told, like, I have to, like, you know, there have been a couple of projects where it's like, oh, now it's Charlie's time to go away and, like, work. And I hate that.
So, how did you meet, and what is the first Broadway show that you saw together?
Okay, so we went to the same college, Oberlin, which is a school out in Ohio, and Tim was a little older than me, and I knew his work because we had a mutual friend, and I heard some of his music and was just like completely bowled over by it. So then when I finally graduated and came to the city, Tim was already sort of set up, and I wrote him this really long email that was just like compliment after compliment, and like, I would really love the opportunity to work with you. You know, here's a treatment. Like, I think we can, you know, maybe like write something really good. And then Tim rejected me. So
this story makes me sound like a cold princess, and I'm satisfied with that.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
But you know, fortunately for me, Tim can be a little bit difficult to write with. So he drove the collaborator that he had at the time into the seminary.
That's not true.
And here we are.
Yeah.
And Tim has never been happier.
A few short years later. Yes.
Tim, do you wish to verify that?
Get me out of here.
So what was the first Broadway show you guys saw together?
Oh, The Color Purple.
Yeah, with Fantasia. She
with
was
Fantasia.
Amazing. Yeah.
She was incredible. And like, I remember actually in the lead up to it being really worried because there were all these stories about like how she was like calling out of performances and stuff. And I was like, if I don't see Fantasia.
Yeah, we need Fantasia.
We need the real thing.
Yeah.
And then like I saw the show and I completely understand why. Like, she was giving like a performance that was like, I don't know. I couldn't watch. I would be wrecked if I watched that 8 times a week, you know? So
yeah, she was great.
I'm very pro Fantasia, and I think she did a great job.
I saw the original cast, which was obviously LaShawne's.
Yeah.
Who won the Tony, but I've seen clips of Fantasia, and it's emotional just, you know, seeing that energy.
Yeah. We were in the balcony.
The
and
nosebleeds,
yeah. And it was still, I mean, like everything red. You know, it was incredible.
Fantastic.
I think we had a question from the audience for both of you, and it popped up earlier. Read again. Oh, what was your favorite musical as a child, and does it influence your work today?
I'm going to let Tim
answer that question, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah Chatfield. Thank you for watching. She's my friend. She went to Oberlin.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about Sarah Chatfield for a minute?
Yeah, maybe that's the real.
What was the question?
What was your favorite musical as a child?
As a child.
Oh, as a child. Oh, The Music Man. I memorized You Got Trouble. I still remember writing it out on my bed. I would listen to a bit and then press stop, and then I would write it out. And then I finished the whole thing, and then my mother destroyed my dreams because she said, that song, that's basically rap. I was like, Mom, You Got Trouble is a wonderful song.
Hey, Meredith Wilson was, I mean, eat your heart out, Lin-Manuel. Meredith Wilson had to rap with.
Yeah,
the OG.
Yeah.
and to this day, when Tim runs out of time writing a song, he'll just send me My White Knight. And
so it has influenced our work.
Well, luckily, we're going to get. I'm sure you've heard of the revival with Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster, which I'm could be very exciting.
Yeah, dying to see. Yeah. Yeah. I love that score. Although I will say the original cast has this enormous sounding string section that is just like, I actually do think, I thought that's what strings were in Broadway pits. And I think a lot of my early work, I was like writing it with this idea that there'd be just this giant, like gorgeous violin section just playing constantly.
Not just one person.
Yeah, there's one person sweating it out, and yeah, exactly, and a keyboard. Not to put down that kind of work, but actually that show really did influence me a lot. I'm still talking about The Music Man. You go. It's your turn.
I have nothing.
I
don't. What is a musical?
Charlie hasn't seen one yet.
I don't like musicals.
Yeah. What was your first? Was it Hedwig?
Okay, we got another question, and then we're gonna transition to the next piece. But we have a question from Alex. No, what are your influences outside of musical theater? Oh, I love that question.
Yeah, great question, Alex. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching.
Is this like a trip down memory lane for you two?
Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
This is our reunion with our friends.
This is a split.
I don't know if you knew that. That's what this was going to be.
Outside of musical theater, I was obsessed with Tony Kushner when I was younger. And still am. And Naomi Wallace. So there are plays that I think have the kind of lift that Tim was talking about, tend to be places that I look when I'm writing stuff. Just because musicals have size to them, but you can get that kind of epicness in a play or in a screenplay, and I really appreciate and in total awe of the writers who do that.
What about you, Tim? Influences outside of musical theater?
No, just The Music Man. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, you know what? We're all about bringing new and unheard musical theater here at A Little New Music. So we are very excited to see something that y'all just wrote quite recently. Could you tell us a little bit about the song?
So this is actually from With the Right Music, which has sort of is in the process of blossoming into a full-length song cycle. But this song is sung by the amazing Troy Awada, who we love. And it is, so our main character, Adam, at this point is in high school. And when he was a child, he was bullied and basically had everything unique kind of beaten out of him, essentially. And then in high school, this new kid comes to school, and he's out, and he's fabulous, and he's flamboyant, and this freaks Adam out. So Adam grabs him, pulls him aside, and is like, look, if you want to survive at the school, you got to change some things. And that's the setup for our song. Amazing.
When you wear floral prints, you send certain hints to kids who you desperately need to convince that you can be just like the other guys. Be cool, no need to hide, just look inside and find the better version of you. And your laugh is too high, come on Dylan, try to toughen it up so you sound like a guy. Get rid of your excitement, or wait, maybe just don't laugh at all. Be safe, you can find the better version. I know you're probably afraid you don't want to lose who you are. But Dylan, when you stand out, kids don't call it unique, they just call it bizarre. You'll get used to watching other people and learning how to blend. You'll get used to living in between what feels real and what's pretend. It's not hard to pretend. Dylan, watch how you dance and alter your stance and maybe give up on those awesome red pants. I have to admit that they're pretty cool. Be strong, don't ask me why, please just comply and find the better version of you. Try to watch what you say, don't sing cabaret. Although we both know you're a killer Joel Grey. Well, maybe you can play him if there's no one else around to hear. Just us, but try to find a better version. Look, I know it's not fun being told you should change your voice. But if you wanna get by, this is how you get by. They don't give us a choice. You'll get used to watching other people and learning to fit in. You'll get used to feeling like a stranger is living in your skin. You'll get used to feeling like a stranger. You'll get used to staying safe from danger. And you'll learn to act like other people. Just watch the other people until they all stop watching you. Whoa. And you'll survive like I survived. And look, I know that it's hard being told you should change your voice. And it might feel like a lie, but you still have to try, 'cause you don't have a choice. You'll be okay, you'll get through each day. You'll deal with those feelings that won't go away. No matter what you do, you'll never quite escape the guy you were. He's there. Remember that the world won't like that other version. Remember how the world has hurt that other version. Ignore it when it seems like he's the better version of you.
All right, you better sing, Troy. That was the Broadway star Troy Water from Be More Chill, ladies and gentlemen. You saw it right here, a brand new song. We like to keep on brand. This is a Little New Music Spotlight series. I'm assuming you knew Troy from also The Boy Who Danced on Air. Anyway, that was amazing. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thank you, guys. In a moment, we'll take more questions from our audience, but I just have to say, listening to that song, it feels really intensely personal. Is there stuff within your life, like your own personal experiences that you sort of bring to your stories?
No.
How does that inform it for you?
Are you
okay?
No.
Luke, are you suggesting we're gay? That's not
We
cool.
have to go.
Sure you do.
Our families are watching.
Well,
yeah, no, I mean, I think we do draw on our personal lives. Maybe not in the way that, not in a one-to-one kind of way, but you just kind of find, I think, when you're writing characters and you're writing people that like there's research, there's like trying to put yourself in someone else's shoes. And then there's this third element of being like, of seeing, I mean, this song is actually very, very literal in terms of its connection to us, I think. But I think every time we write something, Like, I think it.
I always think Charlie's writing about my neuroses. Like, I'll tell him about something that happened to me, and it'll become like a plot point in a musical we're writing. And I'm always like, is that?
And what Tim doesn't know is I'm not listening to him. So it's completely, it's completely coincidental.
I love that. Love it. Amazing. And speaking of, well, I just want to give a shout out to Troy, who I think is watching tonight. We adore your talent. And speaking of Boy Who Danced on Air, I'm also a very good friend of Tony Speciale.
Oh, love Tony.
Yes, I'd like to shout out to Tony. I think he's also watching tonight. So speaking of that show, I know it premiered in the Diversionary Theater in San Diego and then went to the Abingdon. How did the Diversionary Theater find you?
So actually, this is really, so Matt Morrow, who's the artistic director of Diversionary, is a huge advocate for new musical theater. I mean, he really, I think, you know, made it part of his core mission there that he would produce shows by new writers. And I think we really benefited from that. I met Matt a while ago when he was working at the City Theater in Pittsburgh, and I did a reading there that Matt directed, and he was fabulous. And at the time, he just asked if there was anything I was working on, and I told him the story of The Boy Who Danced on Air, and he was like, "Oh my God! Like, when you have that script, send it to me." And I sent it to him, and he very predictably was like, "Ooh, I don't know about the audience for you know, I think different theaters sort of have different you know, programs and different audiences, but Diversionary, being a gay theater, being a pretty progressive theater, was a really, really great home for it." And I think, you know, he was very supportive, and Keela, like Tony Speciale, you know, who brought the show to Abingdon, really helped shape that show and its development. And it was really one of the best creative processes we've ever had. I mean, I still think back to the first time we met Tony. We sat down to talk about the show, and he described, like, he was like, "Okay, I like the show. The one thing is, like, the opening number I don't think is right. Here's my idea for the opening number." And it was this amazing thing where we looked at each other and we were like, "Tony, we just wrote a new opening number for the show, and it's exactly the thing."
And then we ran home and wrote a new opening number.
Yeah, as quickly as we could.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
And again, the importance of collaboration.
Yeah. And yeah, so I think that whole process and experience was really lovely, you know.
That's awesome. Do we have questions from our audience? David Malwood. Hi, David. A Spotlight Series alum. Have you influenced each other stylistically?
Yeah, I would say 100%.
Yes.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
very.
So how?
I loved how much I love the Music Man. So
Yeah,
that really was my formative experience. So
and I do. So I think first of all, for me, I will always. I don't know. I think I have this sort of like almost slightly immature desire to poke at things and poke people. And I think Tim is very good at reminding me that sometimes we don't need to do that. And sometimes that, like, you can take a step back and actually, and I think, you know, actually Boy Who Danced on Air is a perfect example. I think the original ending of that show was pretty dark. And I think, and, you know, Tim was like, he was like, when we think about what we're saying with this show, do we really want to tell people that this is the end of the story? And I was very concerned with it, you know, coming off as unrealistic. So I think we spent a good 3 or 4 years just going back and forth until we found an ending that kind of satisfied both of our points of view. Yeah. So Tim's okay sometimes, I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. This is great.
Any more audience questions, Luke?
Yeah, Eric Cornwell's.
Cornwell, yes. Eric asks, do you ever individually or together do projects with other writers?
Yeah, well, like, I guess an interesting thing is we've been doing a little bit more sort of TV film stuff recently, and there are they slot you into things a little bit differently, I think, than in theater. I think if it were our choice, we would just approach everything like a musical, and work through that process. But it has been kind of like when I referenced like, oh, Charlie's time to go off and write the script, like, which I hate doing. That has been a new phenomenon, because I think, when we started working together, it was very like everything was a conversation and everything was a discussion, and there's a real support you get from that. And also, to the last question, I feel more. I'll also say, even when we work independently, I will always send everything I write to Tim. So I will always get that feedback, which is brutal and horrible, and I hate it. But it's good for me.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's good for me, or so Tim says.
Take your vitamins. I sound like the adult of the relationship with it, which I'm also really relishing.
Yeah.
Right?
So Zelda Saheen says, Tim, is Charlie hard to work with?
Hi, Zelda, love you. Is Charlie hard to work with?
You can be honest. It's fine.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I think we're both really, we really are, like, we care a lot about the thing, you know? And so we kind of fight a lot, and we're very different. There are things I'm very, very sensitive to that Charlie is not at all. And
like what?
Like, I'm really sensitive to, I don't know what I can say. What should I say?
Well,
I think.
I think.
Say what I'm thinking. I'm really sensitive to style, to like, it's sort of extrinsic things like set pieces and the way people are dressed and the colors and, what the poster looks like and all of these things that will really impact me, or the wording, like as a writer, Charlie is always developing this really intricate web of story that is a complicated thing and requires a lot of thought and consideration. And then usually his first pass, the actual words he uses aren't that polished. He spent a lot of time thinking about the inner workings and how it's all going to play out. And then I get a document that has really long run-on sentences and using such and such words. And I'm really impacted by that for some reason. If I get a document like that, it's really hard for me to like see the bigger picture,
And I will say, actually, this is a way in which I think us working together has really impacted me, because I don't think I realized that was an important skill, that like when you write a treatment or when you write a document that's like, here's the story, it also needs to be a document that conveys the feeling of the story. It can't just be the mechanics and be like, right.
Like
so we're
in the turn of phrase and
Yes.
in the word choices. It actually has to make you feel something,
Yeah. The rhythm of the sentences and stuff like that. And I used to always think about that as like a later thing. And like a thing that then you do another pass, and but like it really, I think I learned through Tim that like that stuff that like, it doesn't matter that you spent a lot of time on the plot, like the extra, couple of hours that you spend going back through and being like, all right, so this is supposed to be like a mystery. Like, should the sentences be short? Should they be punchy? Like, what should this be? Is actually really valuable. And like, just whereas a script needs to communicate the feeling of it, a treatment also needs to communicate the feeling of the story. And I don't think that took me a weirdly long time to figure out. I don't know why.
Well, imagine from his point of view, like you spend all of this time developing this very complicated thing that finally is working, and the person comes back to you and goes, why did you use this word here? Or why is this sentence so long? Or, these things that actually weren't what you were focused on at all. It must have been incredibly frustrating. But for me, I came to theater from a point of view of that was everything. Presentation was everything, The Music Man, presentation's everything in The Music Man. The story's lovely and delightful, and But Charlie's like an ideas guy. He's got these amazing ideas, and so meeting me halfway, and I've had to do the same, for him is so essential.
And I'm an ideas guy is exactly what I shout every time we have an argument.
I'm an ideas guy. Oh, I love that.
Then come up with some good ones. No.
So I think this is going to be our last question from the audience. Are there performers you write for who influenced you?
Oh, 100%. I think
I love that question.
Yeah. I think at this point, I think we both we love performers. A lot of our friends are a lot of the people we work with are our friends. So when we meet someone who's like absolutely amazing, it makes it just so much easier when we do the next project, for me at least, to be like, oh great, like this is a Troy character, and a lot of the work that actually Tim was just talking about actually gets done in that. Like once you can start picturing who is going to take this role and that was the thing that we really found in production is like, you spend 6 years or 7 years working on a show and you're making these like minute changes. And then like you see actual actors say the words and suddenly like those 2 weeks of previews, you do like 10 times more than you did in the like 3 years leading up to the production. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because we procrastinate, but.
So valuable listening to your process, and thank you for sharing that process. That's why we do this, the Spotlight series, because we really want to get in the minds of the writers, and we're just so pleased that you're able to be comfortable enough to, bring your ideas to us. So we have a couple questions that we ask every Spotlight series writer or writing team. I don't know if you've ever heard of Inside the Actors Studio. This is the theater version. So, gentlemen, are you ready for your spotlight?
Yes.
Sure.
We have to say yes. This is a disaster.
What was the first musical you ever saw?
For me, it was Man of La Mancha with Raul Julia. Incredible. Just such a fucking beautiful. I'm sorry, such a beautiful production. That is Tim's job. So, but I was so blown away by everything, and I more than that, I remember the next week my parents took me to a straight play for the first time, and I threw a fit in the lobby because no one was singing on stage, and I think.
And you were right to do that.
And I was right to do that.
You deserve
it was, well, I just don't understand when someone makes the choice, like song,
what's
no
the
song.
Ticket price for?
Yeah, exactly. I'm paying for the songs here.
He loves plays. I love making fun of plays.
I think Sheena Easton was in that tour.
Yes. And it was like an incredible production. I don't necessarily trust my 7-year-old self, but my taste was exquisite back then.
And Tim, what was your first show?
I think it was a high school production of Bye Bye Birdie. And my biggest memory of it is the incidental music. There was this tiny band, and I was so taken by them, and I could see they were in the corner. I think it was like a flute and drums and a keyboard. And every time the incidental music played, the flautist would play like this really beautiful, like chromatic line. Yeah, just to sort of like convey that time was shifting. And it really transported me. Yeah. And I was like, I want to be wherever there's incidental music.
And so this going back is the problem. Like, I didn't realize the incidental music needed to be in the treatment. It's like really fucking
style.
Really
I don't know what to
say. All right. So our second question for you both: who would you drop everything to go see perform live, whether they're with us or not?
Elaine Stritch,
George Gershwin.
Love
I'll
it.
drink.
Yes.
I'll drink to that. Amazing.
Yeah, I feel like there's no real explanation needed.
Yeah, you just got to go with your gut.
We're good.
I saw Elaine Stritch in A Little Night Music. Have you seen her live?
Yes, I mean, I saw her in a. So actually, I saw Angela Lansbury, and it was so like powerful at the end because she had this very like subtle performance where she died, and I actually kind of thought that maybe Angela Lansbury had died on stage, and I was
she does so every night.
yeah. That's commitment.
Yeah.
And then I saw Elaine Stritch, and that moment came around, and she acted like she was getting electrocuted. It was the most incredible. It was like playing for like a balcony that wasn't even in the theater. It was so musical theater that like I think it taught me a lot about our craft.
And about acting.
Oh,
I think when he heard Elaine Stritch, he just was like,
yeah, he was drawn.
You're raising him right.
Nephew came. And so for our last question of the night, gentlemen, who is going to play you in the musical version of your life?
Elaine Stritch. That's it. That's all
so
I've got.
Real. That's so real. And I want mine to be Liza Minnelli.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Because I think if they were both in a show together, like the whole like theater would explode.
Yeah. I love that.
Energy, that fierce, raw energy.
Although I actually kind of like it. I like it if like you're like Timothy Chalamet or something like that.
Somebody very quiet.
Yeah, very
sensitive.
Quiet, delicate.
Yeah.
And then Elaine
And you're like, hello.
Yes.
Very quiet, delicate, and in everything.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
That describes me.
Well, Tim and Charlie, y'all have been a delight to have with us tonight. Before we go, is there anything that you're working on coming up that you want to share with our audience?
So the thing that's coming up soon-ish is on June 24th. We are doing a song with the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus for Pride, and it's part of their like virtual concert. So you don't have to go to San Francisco to see it, but it will feature both the amazing Troy Awada and also the amazing Danny Quadrino, who's another performer who we love and is incredible. So it should be a good, fun evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thanks again to you both. Everybody back at home, you can watch Tim and Charlie's songs and many others that have been performed on the A Little New Music stage at our YouTube page. Just go to youtube.com/ALittleNewMusic. And what's the playlist that we want to tell them about?
I think it's called A Little New Rosser & Sohne. A Little New Rosser and Sohne.
Wow, our own playlist.
Yeah.
That's how we do, y'all. And if for our audience out there, if you've enjoyed tonight, if you go check out any of our other shows, please give us a little bit of your support if you can, using the QR code that's right there on the screen next to Keela. Your contributions help us compensate our performers and writers, including these two incredible gentlemen here tonight.
Yes, of course. We want to give a shout out to our team working behind the curtain who have helped make tonight possible. Here is our Spotlight series executive producer, Amy Francis Schott. Come on out, Amy. Take a bow.
Hi, y'all. Tim and Charlie, thank you so much for doing this. I've been a fan of yours since I think Sammy Buck introduced us at the D Lounge.
Oh my God.
After Danny Quadrino and somebody else sang Boy of My Own.
Yes.
And I was like, who are they? And he said, you don't know these guys? You've got to know these guys. And I've been in love ever since. So thank you so much for being a part of this. And I want to thank Ryan Baldwin, who has been our StreamYard guru and who has taught me everything that I know about doing this. And Travis Leland, who you've been chatting with in the chat, he's been giving you all the good links and all the info and keeping track of all those comments. So thank you guys both so much for being part of this.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Amy, do we have a show coming up that you want to announce?
We do. Thank you so much for reminding me. I was just so excited. In 2 weeks from tonight, we will have Zelda Saheen and Derek Greger. We featured them 3 times on our Little New Music stage and can't wait to see. They told me that they've been working on 2 new musicals during quarantine. So
you're trying to be the Shakespeare of musical theater, huh?
And in a month, we're going to have Katya Stanislavskaya, and boy, I hope I said that right, who is also a delightful writer we featured a couple of times, and we can't wait to talk to her too.
So April 2nd, April 16th. We'll be right back here.
April 6th, April 20th.
Oh, I have that totally wrong. You're right. April 6th, April 20th. Look at that. We're live, y'all. We're live. We also want to thank Peter Welkin and Chris Makish for their continued support of our work.
And again, we want to acknowledge the ASCAP Foundation. If you don't know what ASCAP Foundation means, ASCAP, Google it. And New Musicals Incorporated for the support of our work.
Tim, Charlie, thank you again for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Our YouTube channel, Facebook, follow us. And everyone,
have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.